Okay, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining our Protocol.io webinar today. My name is Anita Bralox and I'm the head of outreach here at Protocol.io, and I'm very excited to show you today a little bit more about what our group collaboration looks like and what options you have on Protocol.io to set up your own group. And yeah, so before we get started, a couple administrative tasks. So first of all, I will be recording this webinar, so I'll be sure to send out a link to it to all of you afterwards. And then also, if you have any questions, I would kindly ask you to use the chat window on the right-hand side of your Zoom window. You should see it here on my screen. So if you have a question, you can just type it out there and we'll have time to look at all the questions at the end of the webinar. Cool, so the agenda for today is going to be, first I'll just walk you through how to set up your own group and how to set up a new group on Protocol.io, and then what options you have to manage the group members in your group. And then the third thing we'll go to is all the different features a group has on Protocol.io. And then I'll show you how to share protocols and files with your group. And then in the end, we have about 10 to 15 minutes for questions in case there are any questions. So if you want to set up a new group on Protocols.io, the first thing you do is you click the little plus icon and you select New Group. This will lead you to our group editor, which is pretty much self-explaining. So you can enter a group name. This can really be whatever you want. If your lab has a name, you can enter the lab name. Or if you have a big collaboration that has a name, it can really be that. And you can add a group logo. This can be either also your lab logo or maybe another image that just represents your group. And then also you can choose your own group URL. Usually if you enter a group name, we suggest a group name already, but if for some reason you want to change that, you can change that, of course, if it's available. And then next, there's an option for you to add a group description. This is really a space where you can explain to other people what this group is all about, especially if the group is public. This is a great place to just put what are the interests of your group and what is the purpose of your group, who would you like to join that group. So you can add anything here. Also, this for the research interests, here you can just put whatever your group is researching on. This is also a great way for others in the field to find your group. So if you just put any topics that you're working on here, people will be able to find you easily and might want to join your group if it's a public group. Next, if you have a URL, for example, if your lab has its own website, you can add it here, and then that way we can link directly to your URL right away from the group page. And then here you have the option if you want to, this is optional, you don't have to, but you can add a group location and also an affiliation to your group. And if you're setting up a group for a reagent vendor, for example, you have the option to add a technical support email and also a technical support phone number. That way, if customers of yours are using a protocol, each protocol that is associated with that group will automatically show those support emails and the support phone numbers. That way people have the option to either contact you through Protocols.io or just contact you directly. The next thing here is an important point. So here you select if you want to have your group be public or private. If it's public, that means anybody can be able to find it. So if somebody searches for the group, they can easily find it through our website. And if it's private, people will not be able to see it unless they have a link for it. And here it's important to note, if you want to set up your group first privately and make it public later, that is totally doable. Also the other way around, if you make it public and for some reason you want to put it private at some point, you also have the option to change those settings afterwards. And so for the group membership, you have 3 different options. You can either select that the group, if it's open to all, anybody can just find a group, see the group, and just join without anything. The second option would be by request, so somebody would come see the group and click join, and then you as a group admin will get a notification that somebody would like to join the group, and then you can either approve or decline. Or the third option is that you can allow people only by joining by invitation. That means you as a group admin will have to send out an invitation, and I will show you later how you can do that. This thing is a group folder, but we will take a closer look at the group folder in a second. And then if you want to add members to your group while setting it up right away, you can either post email addresses here, but you also have an option to add members afterwards. And then just remember to click save, and you're all done with your initial setup for your group. Then to find your groups, you can click, if you click your profile icon, there's a drop-down menu, and then a third point down on the menu is groups. And there you can find your groups. And so this is how a typical group interface looks like. There's a lot of things going on. And the first thing I want to show you here is manage members. This is an important point because this allows you to manage all your members. So if you click on it, you will see a list of all the people in your group, and everybody will have different checkboxes here, so you can see that. So you can decide if you want somebody else to be a co-admin, for example, and you can choose if you want people to be allowed to post news, events, and jobs. And also you can select if somebody should be able to manage those different things, such as events, jobs, discussions. And then there's one extra feature. This might be important for if you want to have somebody get a notification right away if there's a comment on a protocol, because usually all group members will get a digest email twice per week that just shows all the things happening in the group. So like all the new events, if there's a comment on a protocol, discussions, different things like that, you will get twice per week like a digest email. But if you want somebody to get a notification right away, for example, if it's for if you are a reagent vendor and you need to answer faster, you can have that option that somebody gets a notification right away. Also, if for some reason you need to remove somebody from your group, you have an option to do so by easily just clicking remove on their name. And then also to easily find members within the group, you can type their names here and search for them. And then to invite people, you click this button and you have a couple options to invite people. First is you can type their email addresses here. Just remember to divide the email addresses with a comma. And then if you click invite, an invitation will go out to their email addresses. And if for some reason you need to invite people that you don't have the email addresses of, you can also copy this invitation link down here, which allows anybody with the link to just join the group right away. So if, for example, you only have a Slack channel and you don't know all the email addresses of all the people in the Slack channel, you just copy this link, paste it, and everybody with the link can easily join the group. If you, for some reason, need to transfer the group ownership, you can do that by clicking transfer ownership. So that allows you to just give away all admin rights to whoever you pick. That person needs to be in the group, however. So just make sure the person that you want to take over the ownership is a member of your group already. On this right side, it says new discussion. This is a great way for you to start a discussion within your group. You can enter a title. So the topic can be whatever you want to discuss, and then you can just find all the discussions in this discussion tab up here, and people will have the ability to respond, ask questions, and just post whatever they want to contribute to it. Next, there's a couple more things that you can do in your group. You can add events. So for example, if you have a big lab meeting coming up, you can add it here, and also jobs or news. So there's a lot of things you can add here. Right now it's 3 different tabs, but in the future you might see that it will change to become one feed, so it will be all mixed together. But it's basically the same things, just not separated like you see right now. And then for the protocols, so on this tab it says protocols, and later you might also see the documents that are right next to the protocols might be mixed into the protocol, so it's will be called publications, and this is all the public protocols that your group has. So if you click here, you will be able to see all the different protocols anybody in your group published and associated with the group. And in this space, you have also, right now you have shared with the group. That means it's protocols that only people within the group can see. So nobody outside of the group will be able to see those protocols. And you have the ability to sort those protocols by activity, date, name, or views, or also just easily search for them by keywords. Also, to have a better overview of all your protocols, you can sort them by categories. You can create whatever categories you want, and you can create as many as you'd like. So you can just create a categories, and also one protocol can be part of multiple categories. So it's just a very easy way to sort the protocols. And so on a protocol directly, how all your group members have the ability to collaborate is through this commenting functionality. So if somebody shares a protocol with the group, everybody in the group will have access to it, and people can create comments. So for example, you can ask questions on a protocol level or a step level, and then anybody will be able to also reply and respond, and that way just the protocol can be improved, and you can create new versions at any time. Yeah, and so so this can all be either public or private. So if it's private, you can always choose to remove the comments before publishing if you like to, or you can also keep the comments. And if it's public already, the comments usually stay. And so to share a protocol, you can click this share button right now, or you can go to your library, which has a group folder. The group folder can be found, there's a submenu called groups, and there's all the group folders of all the groups you're part of. And so in the group folder really is a space that is the best space for collaboration for a group. So every member of the group will have the same group folder. Everybody will see the same content. And you can add protocols to your group folder, of course, by just dragging the protocols into that group folder, or also different documents. But also, it's important to note here, you can add any kind of documents or files you'd like. So if you have any Excel sheets that you need, or if you have presentations or whatever, or Google, or documents like or like images, whatever you have, you can just drop it here. So this can really function as a common group space and a file manager for your entire group. And you or anybody has the chance to also create new folders, so you can easily just organize yourself and just, for example, you can put all experiment runs in one folder or protocols, and just like you can decide how you want to structure this. And also, so you as a group admin, you have the ability to decide what kind of settings you want for this folder. So there's a couple options to choose from, and one of them, for example, is you can prevent from moving files outside of the group. So if people drop something into that group folder, they cannot remove it anymore, and you can disable the ability to get a DOI or disable the ability to publish. So that kind of gives you security if you don't want to, for some reason, have the ability for people to publish protocols. You can just turn this off through this group folder setting. Right, so just to quickly sum up, what you can do on Protocols.io with the groups is, so you easily just create your group with a click, and you add the group details, and you can choose between public or private. Please note again here that you can always change those settings afterwards, and you choose how you want people to be able to join the group, either it's open to all, or by request only, or invitation only. And then you can add new members by simply adding their email addresses or sending them the invitation link. You can manage the group members on the group page, so you can give different members different abilities to manage within the group. So for example, if you want somebody to be a co-admin, you can select that, or different things like jobs, news, discussions, handling. Also, if you share your protocols with a group to collaborate on methods, you can do that by dropping the protocols into the group folder, and that will give everybody access to the protocol, and people can collaborate on them by using the commenting functionality and versioning. To keep your group very active, you can just post news, events, if there's any resources your group uses, to just like have this as a space for your group members to just get all the information they need to get started. Also, for the group folder, you have different options to select settings. So you can decide if people should be able to share or not share, or publish or not publish, and different things like that. And the group folder is really the common file space for your group members, and most of the collaboration will go through that. So this was it, and if you have any questions now, please just feel free to type them in the chat window, or if you have any questions later, you can always also send me an email at anita@protocols.io.